Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Hunty. It's your girl Hunter, and I'm back with another video. It's been 2 weeks since I've uploaded a video, and I'm like, not what I had planned, but everything happens for a reason. But today's video, if you cannot tell by the title, we're gonna be talking about mental health, and we're gonna be talking about some things that I feel like need to be talked about and some things that I'm really passionate about. So we're just gonna get straight into the video. So on my Instagram, I put up a little poll basically saying that, you know, I'm gonna be talking about like mental health, depression, anxiety, especially because of COVID. I feel like we need to have a little chit chat, have a little recap. Let's digest these feelings, let's talk about it, and let's figure out how to cope and move on. So I do have like 4 questions that I'm going to talk about that you guys asked me. So thank you to the people who asked me questions. I might talk about some other stuff that people didn't ask me, but we're just gonna see how this video flows. Since COVID has happened and since, you know, life has changed tremendously, I feel like it's really important for us to realize the way we feel and to process those emotions so that we can work on improving ourselves. Just saying, it's okay to not be okay. It is completely okay to feel like you have no control over your life right now, because I have felt that way. These past 2 weeks, I was really like not feeling it. Like I was not feeling, like I was just, my mood was off. I just like was unhappy with myself. I was just like in this rut. And you know, through those 2 weeks, I was able to acknowledge that, you know, I wasn't feeling my best. I was feeling sad. I was feeling anxious. I was just like, I just felt lost. Like I was just overthinking everything and anything in my life. So I feel like it's important to acknowledge that when you're feeling that way, but acknowledge it, process those emotions, and figure out a way to get out of that rut. But I will say I'm feeling so much better this week. I feel a lot happier, a lot more optimistic. So yeah, sometimes we just have our off days, our off weeks, whatever it may be, and that's completely okay. But we're just gonna get into the questions. First question that I have is, what do you do when you feel like you want to be productive / learn something new, but you are indecisive? That's a really good question, because I feel that way often. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. I feel like in my nature, I'm an indecisive person. Not so much like indecisive in a bad way. I just like to, I don't know. I'm an indecisive people. You already know what it is. Like we get each other. We see each other. I feel like for me, when I want to try something new, I want to put myself out there, just do something I normally wouldn't do. I feel like it's normal to feel indecisive. It's normal to start overthinking and to start coming up with all these little scenarios in your head as to why that could go wrong, or maybe why it could go amazing, like whatever the case may be. So I feel like feeling indecisive is normal when you want to try something new. So for me, what I think is important to do when you're feeling that way is to come up with the pros and the cons of the situation, whether it's, I don't know, you trying a new hobby, or I don't know, you getting a new job, or maybe you want to, maybe it's school related, maybe you want to switch majors, or maybe you're thinking about, you know, your options post-graduation, if you want to go to grad school, or whatever the case could be. I feel like it's important to make a list. What are the pros of you trying out something new? Write out all the positives of you trying this new endeavor, you being more productive in your life, you switching something up. And then write out the cons. And majority of the time, if you are really trying to do something new, put yourself out there, the pros are gonna outweigh the cons, and you'd be really surprised. Sometimes you just have to put yourself out there and just try it and see what happens. And I know being indecisive, I'm indecisive. 1 minute I'm like yes, 1 minute I'm like no, 1 minute I'm like I'm down, next minute I'm like I won't do that. Sometimes you just have to push yourself in the right direction and push yourself to do something new, and you might be uncomfortable, but it's like, you know, if you're indecisive like me, sometimes you just literally have to force yourself to do it, because you know yourself and you know that you're so indecisive. Like if you just keep going through that cycle, you'll never do it. So try it. That's my advice. Just sometimes you just gotta force yourself. just be like, you know what, we're gonna do this. So yeah. Next question, how do you admire someone and not compare? Wow, that is a really good question because I feel this way on the daily, and I feel like a lot of people can relate. How do you admire somebody without comparing yourself? I feel like it's natural, and I've talked about this before. As humans, we just naturally compare ourselves to people, and you know, it's not always done in a malicious way, but I feel like naturally we compare ourselves. But it can get to a point where I feel like it's like unhealthy and it's not good. It doesn't even have to be about looks. So you can admire somebody from their intelligence. Like, you can just think they're so intelligent and they are just doing their thing, and you really look up to them and you admire them for everything that they're doing in their life, with school, with work, with a business, whatever the case may be. It doesn't always have to be looks. Beauty and brains, honey. My advice is to uplift yourself every single day. You know, it doesn't even, you just have to talk to yourself as if you are that person and as if you are capable of anything, because you are capable of anything. Anything you put your mind to, you can achieve it. Like, you just have to work hard. Like, you have to work hard in life to get to your goals. So my main tip to admire people without starting the unhealthy cycle of comparing yourself to them is count your own blessings and look in the mirror and build yourself up, and just remind yourself that you are capable of doing anything that you set your mind to, and that you are worthy, and that you can accomplish the things that they're accomplishing. You can accomplish too. Like, there's not a limit to your success, so just never forget that. You have to work on self-love and self-talk. Talk to yourself. Like, I will look in the mirror, hey girl, I will look in the mirror and just be like, Hunter, you are bomb, you are worthy, you are intelligent, you are smart. Like, you literally have to do that so that when you do find people you admire, you don't feel like you need to compare yourself to them, because at the end of the day, there's no competition. The only competition that you have is with yourself and your own self-growth. That's the only competition that you should be having, period. Yeah, anyways, next question. Advice on staying productive. I have a calendar and all. Girl, I feel this question because I'm literally the same way. I have a calendar, and this summer has just been really hard to stay on a routine and stay productive, it feels like, because there's just so much going on. Normally what I do, especially when I'm at school, I have a calendar hanging up on like my wall, and I'll write, you know, all the activities, all the things that I need to do each week. But I also keep like an agenda, like a journal or whatever, an agenda that I can physically carry with me everywhere, and I'll probably write the same stuff I put on my calendar on my wall, just so I have something I can physically carry with me every day. Another thing that I do is I like to set alerts on my phone, on my phone's calendar, so that they pop up, because we're on our phones a lot. So I like when, oh, I just got an alert, because sometimes, like, if you're a bit, like, you're not paying attention, you may not pick up your journal for the day. And if you're more of a person who likes stuff to be organized on their phone, try using your calendar, set reminders, you know, put all the things that you want to get done on your calendar. It'll pop up as a reminder. You can have it pop up at a certain time. So my advice for staying productive is just finding what works for you, because everybody's different. Find what works for you. If you need to write little goals for yourself throughout the day, do that. Reminders on your phone, do that. Okay, so I have another question. It is best ways to cope with anxiety in school, like while you're at school. Very good question, because I feel like we all deal with anxiety in our own different ways. I know for me personally, I've had periods of time when I've been in college where my anxiety was really bad, and other times where I felt like I could manage it. So everyone's different. You just kind of have to figure out yourself and what triggers your anxiety and how you cope with your anxiety. And if you're a person who's still figuring out how to cope with your anxiety, that's completely fine. I'm about to get into it. I'm about to talk about it. So for me, the biggest way for me to cope with my anxiety is to talk about it. Talk about it with people who you trust, your friends, anybody who you feel comfortable talking about it with, being like, yo, this is stressing me out, like, I just feel so anxious, like, blah, 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 blah. And 9 times out of 10, your friends or whoever you're talking to about your anxiety, they'll probably be like, I feel the same way. And sometimes that makes me feel better. Like, okay, I'm not the only person who feels like this. I know I'm not crazy. Like, okay, all right, somebody else feels this way. Let's talk about it with each other. Sometimes it's really nice to talk to another person who is feeling the same way you're feeling, or who might be going through something very similar, because then you guys can relate and you guys can help each other on how you're going to cope with it. Other times, when I've been at school, I didn't want to talk about my anxiety. I didn't really want to open up to anybody. Sometimes I would get in like moods where I'm like, nope, not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna deal with it. I'm gonna handle my business, and that's it. That's where a journal comes in handy. And I know I'm always talking about a journal, but I'm telling you, journals are amazing. Write out how you feel, like once a day. Like if you're feeling really overwhelmed and anxious, just write it out. Or if you don't want to physically write, you can go on your phone and just type it out in notes, or in your notes or something. I've done that before. Just everything you're feeling in that moment, just let it all out. Girl, better type it out. Get those feelings out. If you don't want to talk to somebody, get it out. Type it up, write it up, put it away. Whatever the case may be, like you gotta process those emotions. Another thing that we're gonna get into. So this is gonna kind of tie into, I guess, depression, sadness, and anxiety. I'm just gonna shed some light into my own personal experience. There were periods of time when I was at school, when I knew that I was dealing with, you know, sadness, my depression, or my anxiety, and I felt like I was coping and I was managing it and I was good. I was like, you know what, this is going on in my life, it's okay, I'm gonna be fine, I'm dealing with my emotions on a daily basis, we're good, everything's good. But then I got to a point where I was like, we're not good, I don't really feel good. I was like, I don't like this, I don't like this feeling. It's like, I don't really like this, what's going on? And me being me, I'm kind of a person who's like, you know what, you're good, Hunter, you gonna work through it, you can power through it, you're good, you're strong, you got this. But I feel like sometimes it can get to a point where you realize, you know what, I do need help. I feel like I need to talk to somebody about maybe what I'm feeling or what I'm going through, and that's completely okay. The first step is acknowledging that, hey, I need to talk to somebody. Like, I just need to get a lot of things off my chest, and I feel like I should talk to like a therapist or a school counselor, whatever the case may be. Acknowledge that, but then you gotta follow through. There are periods of time where I would be like, you know, I'm gonna set up an appointment, I'm gonna talk to a therapist, I'm gonna do it. I never did it. I wasn't following through because I was afraid. I was really afraid to deal with the things that I was dealing with, because I knew that if I was to sit down and talk to somebody about them, I was gonna have to deal with them. I was gonna have to be confronted with the things that I was feeling, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to feel that way. But you get to a point where you're like, you know what, you got to do it. And luckily I had amazing people in my life who were like, Hunter, you need to talk to somebody. And I was like, damn it, I got people on my ass now, so now I gotta talk to somebody. So if you feel as though you need help coping with your anxiety while you're at school, and you feel as though it's deeper than you just, you know, casually talking about it with your friends, or just writing in a journal, like you feel like you actually need to get help from a professional, there's nothing wrong with that, and I highly encourage you doing that. I say try it out, see if you like it, because it can be really helpful. And I will say from my own personal experience, from talking with, you know, mental health professionals, therapists, counselor, whatever the case may be, it has helped me so much. Like, it has helped me develop new skills on how I can cope with my own anxiety, or how I can cope with my own depression or sadness, or like whatever you're going through. So I feel like it's really important to bring emphasis on that. I really wanted to bring emphasis on it's okay to not be okay, especially right now. I feel like there's a lot going on in the world with the pandemic, with, you know, people stressing about working, people stressing about school. Like, it is completely okay to be like, you know what, I don't feel my best, and you know what, we're gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on, you know, trying to get in a better mood every day, and I'm just gonna work on it. Like, it's okay. Feel your emotions and to process them, and take however much time you need to sit with them, but you can't get stuck in them. You don't want to get stuck. I definitely do, moving forward, I want to talk more about just more personal things, not even so much me getting too personal on here, because here's the thing, I feel as though I'm a private person. You know, I don't go on Instagram or Twitter and start talking about my childhood trauma or anything. I don't do that. But I feel like I have a purpose on this earth, and I feel like my purpose is to slowly start to share my story so I can help other people. Little by little, I'm gonna get there, and I want to start posting more personal content, more content where I feel like it can help other people and just be real. That's kind of what I want my channel to be. I love makeup, I love hair, I love clothes, but this is the stuff that like really brings me joy, and this is the stuff that motivates me. Like, I want to talk about this kind of stuff because I feel like it's really important, and I feel like other people can relate to me, and other people will be able to resonate with the things that I'm saying, and I feel like we should all be able to have, I just want to create a space where we can have an open discussion about mental health, about anxiety, about the stress of school, and just everything like that. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions on videos moving forward or things you would want me to talk about. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.